Alright, so I just got up and I got a notification that the package I ordered has just been delivered, so I'm going to get that. There it is. Cupcake, get out of the shot, dang it.
Hey, look at my pumpkin.
And guess what? Aww, that's so cute. You wanted to be in the video?
Yeah.
It's very cute. Hey, Bubby. Mwah. So I've had a couple days to mess around with the modular system, and I'm really happy with my selection, with everything that I have for it. Everything that all the planning I did seems to have worked out in a way that I really like and I really enjoy. So let me walk you through that right now. So when I decided to make this dive in to what I had, the first thing I really went for is I just ended up going for a bunch of IntelliGel stuff. And I know it's kind of pricey, but modular is kind of pricey. So I decided if I'm gonna spend my money, I'm gonna spend my money in a place that I feel comfortable with. So the first thing I really went for was the IntelliGel palette case, the 4U case. I liked it because I could get the 1U row in there because I really like the utility of some of these 1U modules. I liked how it had a mult. It actually has 2 mults in it. It has MIDI. It has the stereo outs. So I just need to get the little module to connect to that, and then I'll be able to actually run this in a correct way to an audio interface instead of the way I'm doing it now. And it comes with power. It comes with your connections and everything. For me, it just seemed like the right choice. It's not too big. I really didn't want to give myself that much room because I really want to make myself a small, consistent case that I can take with me, I can use, and I can get really comfortable with. And then maybe in the future, if I really end up enjoying things, or I need space, or I have another thing that I'm trying to build, maybe I'll go for a bigger case. But for me, for a beginner, for right now, this seems perfect. I got the little zero scope module from IntelliGel. It's really nice for me to be able to look at the waveforms I'm doing, and it's just fun to, whenever I'm patching in something, if I'm modulating something, to really see that happen in real time. But it's also really useful to have because there is a tuner mode in there, and that has been super useful when I've been connecting it to my O-Coast. So I have the Quadrat 1U model next, which is great because it can be an attenuator, but I'm also using it as an audio mixer, getting the job done for me, for what I'm doing right now. I also really like how different outputs can sum to a certain place, so I can mix audio and then I can leave the back half for mixing CV, mixing LFOs, mixing anything like that. So I really like that. So up next I'm using IntelliGel's Scales module, and that's working as my quantizer and as my sequencer right now. I wasn't looking for anything too intense when it came to a sequencer just yet. I was more concerned with just getting something that could do something and be useful at the same time in a different way that I know I'm going to need later. So having it be able to quantize and sequence at the same time is great. I love how I can set up a pattern and then I can send random voltage to another voice and just have that other voice be quantized into the pattern that I'm running with. So it's super useful. There's a lot of different uses for it. So really like that. Next I have the Dixie 2 Plus. I was a little on the fence about getting it just because you can get so many oscillators for a good amount cheaper, but I really liked the multiple waveforms that you can select. I really like the different FM ins and outs. The ability to easily select your octave is also super useful, but I think the best part out of anything here is the fact that it has a switch that turns it just into an LFO. That's really useful if I'm just playing with the O-Coast and I just want a little bit extra of something. I don't have to buy an entirely separate module just to throw in another signal in there. So that's really great. It's really useful. Also, I love the sounds coming out of it. So that's great. And the last two things that I have in the case right now are two little modules from 2HP. I have an ADSR and a VCA, and they're both great. They both do exactly what they need to do. I knew I was going to want to use the Dixie by itself without the built-in envelope on the O-Coast. And the 2HP stuff just seemed great. It's super small profile, so it's not going to mess with the other plans that I have in the rack, because I do have other plans in the rack, and we'll get to that. Hi, Cupcake. And just from everything that I've been working with them so far, they're great. They're awesome. Even in such a small profile where it can sometimes be hard to reach through and tweak them, they're still really easy to use. They do their job super well. And so yeah, that's basically my new case. I'm still using the O-Coast. Mainly if I'm just playing with the case, I'm still using it as a clock source right now. But that might change, it might not change. There's 100 different ways I could go with this, and so I'm still really excited for it. So I still have a lot of space left here in the rack, and I do have some plans for it. I mean, you can tell there's no filter in there. There's no real external modulation sources inside the rack or anything like that. So I do have plans for that. I do have a modular grid page actually for what I plan this rack to be. Let me throw that up right now. But there is also some empty space, as you can see, in that rack. So I'm a little unsure what to do. I don't know if I want to get a dedicated audio mixer. Maybe I should get a clock source in the case. I'm a little unsure. There's a lot of different things I could do with this. I do want this to have some generative abilities as well, so maybe something along the lines of sample and hold modules, maybe some logic modules, something like that, just to keep things interesting, but still not entirely sure what this is gonna end up being. So any suggestions anyone has, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd love that. I would honestly really like different ideas or different suggestions for cool things to throw in here. But that's my plan for right now. So yeah, that's my current modular system. I'm super excited to keep playing with it, super excited to keep tweaking it and finding different things to do with it. By the way, if I didn't say, I was recording all of this into my Fender Hot Rod Deluxe amplifier. I mic'd it up with an SM57 running into Logic. Doing a very small amount of EQing just to take some of that hissy amp noise that you get with that. Obviously, I need to figure out how to record a non-guitar instrument now, so that will be fun. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe for more of this and also guitar stuff. I do guitar stuff. I actually do guitar stuff more than synth stuff usually, so if you're into anything like that, drop a like. I'm sure there will be plenty more videos, plenty of updates as I go along this journey with my modular synthesizer. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a great one.